The move is down under in Francis and Tokyo, watching Japan stocks. First off, we go to Tokyo. Japan stocks been trading for an hour. Fran, how are they looking?
Austin, the Nikkei is rising for a third day, and that's as Japan slid to deflation today as consumer prices fell at a record pace in May. Japan's CPI, excluding fresh food, fell 1.1% from a year earlier. It was the sharpest decrease since the survey began in 1971. And that's as Bank of Japan Governor Masahiko Shirakawa said last week that price declines will accelerate through the middle of the fiscal year as demand slackens. And let's check how shares in Japan's largest retailers are trading at the moment. They're actually falling, with J-Fund Retailing leading the losses at 2.5%, and 7 & i, that's Japan's biggest retailer, falling on 0.5%, but Fast Retailing keeping its gains at 0.5% higher today in trade. And commodity stocks leading the gains on the Nikkei today after crude oil futures rose beyond $70 a barrel, and that's pushing shares in Nippon Oil higher. We see shares in Nippon Oil gaining more than 4%, and that's leading the gains in the oil stocks on the Japan index. And that's also on reports that the company with Inpex, Japan's biggest oil explorer, and JGC may acquire rights to develop an oil field in Iraq, according to the Yomiuri newspaper. And these companies may start pumping out 600,000 barrels a day, or more than 10% of Japan's total consumption. And that's according to the paper. So that's why you see the stocks rising today in Japan. And shares in Suzuki Motor, the car maker, the second best performer on the Nikkei today, is soaring following reports that Volkswagen is considering a partnership with the car maker. And there you see shares up by 5.5% today in trade. Also rising is Bridgestone, one of the top movers this morning after it narrowed its loss forecast for the first half of this year with the help of cost reductions and lower raw material costs. But it also cut its full-year net income forecast as vehicle sales fell, and we see shares trading up by 6.5% in Japan. So those are the top movers and the news that's moving the markets in Japan. Haslinda, it's back to you.
Fran, thank you so much for that. And talking about Bridgestone, in terms of analyst recommendations, 5 buys, 6 holds, no sells. So people are pretty upbeat about Bridgestone.